Here are the reading notes. The book I'm sharing this time is The Economics of Luxury Goods. The first luxury goods were
In
probably
ancient
shoes.
European societies,
Shoes are a symbol of privilege and status. Only those allowed to enter into palaces
could only wear red high
Louis
heels.
XVI wore red high heels at the wedding with his red claws. Mary was guillotined. Also allowed to wear red high heels. After the transition from agricultural civilization to industrial civilization,
Humans
have greater excavation capabilities.
Wealth
Has been exploded. The number of wealthy people has exploded. Afterwards, luxury
There
goods.
is a
Total transformation, including power to life. There is also a greater ability to shape people, from big houses to expensive cars and private schools, to luxury accessories and fashion to define identity. Then experience buying luxury watches. Excessive consumption stages such as luxury jewelry and luxury bags. Eventually, they turn to haute couture and art. Transition from power to diverse needs. The modern luxury industry also developed. It's a radically different economy. Clothing is the core business of luxury goods companies. But clothing sales only account for about 10%. What makes money is handbags, accessories and perfumes, etc. Polo shirts and trench coats. There's even a dog leash, baseball cap, and cake baking pan. Remember that the first feeling of going abroad is the different? From architecture to clothing. No saying. Everything you see is different. Feeling different is something that needs to be proven, need to be affirmed. There needs to be a recognized value. So there's a difference in everything about people. And that includes all of life, or the attitude to life. And advertising is the best helpers. Take Audrey Hepburn and Kennedy featuring black and white photos. The bottom of each advertisement. Both have a pair of Totters loafers. After that, it will be integrated into and become a culture for the purpose. Example, cooling at first. Cool is a black performer to deal with what they encounter. A method of racial discrimination. Being cool means being cold. Cooling can also be a defense against vulnerability. Ways to protect yourself. The curator's definition of the term is the counterpart of innocence or virtue. One side is a person who has to have both a charismatic side and a dark side. In America, the stripes of Burberry are related to hip-hop culture. Others made with streetwear are associated with fashionista photo walls, artistries. Certainly. Then there's Spring Fashion Week, Summer Fashion Week. There is also a themed fashion show specially prepared for the sailing show. Fashion shows are significant for luxury fashion companies. But fashion shows are never about the real world. It's not going to go into a retail store. They understand. People would think these clothes were absurd and bizarre. But a kind of imagination about different. It's incredibly valuable. Fashion shows clothes are generally only available in 1 or 2 sizes. Therefore, the vast majority of fashion models need to be very thin. Female models should be over 1.75 meters tall. Is better. The buttocks should be small busta or be cup size. Weight is about 50 kilograms. Models need to keep their faces expressionless. Don't scratch your head to keep the audience's attention on the clothes. But East and West have very different needs. In China, there are many kinds of beauty. For example, temperament is an appreciation for the length of time. Certainly. Easterners also take a fancy to the intuitive social status. Therefore, the East also needs to select products. In Japan, it is said that 60% of female shopping assistants carry LV bags. They lack this requirement of uniqueness. The clerk and the owner can carry the same brand of bags. Being wrapped in luxury goods is a social status demandus. It's also a need for a sense of harmony and belonging. And here's the fun part. Europeans and Americans understand the logic of demand in the East, but didn't see themselves. Does a person's uniqueness need to be proven? Why does a person's uniqueness need to be proven? Behind the huge wealth is a huge inventory of clothes. That became their problem. Many second-hand clothes are actually new. It will be sold through the website. The gray market is also a place to go. The most common is luxury brands and high-end brands in middle-income, non-competitive markets, selling surplus products to unauthorized distributors. Dealer commitment. The product will not be sent back to Western markets for sale. These clothes have been marked, but it may be relabeled before sale. This is a luxury group, a faucet that can operate the switch. It depends on. As for whether it is on or off, the percentage of unsold products from these companies during the quarter, or whether the sales target for the current quarter was achieved. The last option is to burn. Burn all the clothes that can't be sold. And here's the big problem. There was explosive growth of wealth in the previous civilization conversion. Will there be more in the future? What is the future of the luxury fashion retail industry? There have been many attempts. A way is experience mode. For example, Oklahoma, Canada, wearing a parka. Enter the snowy room at minus 12 degrees Celsius. To complete this journey, customers have to cross the ice gap. They can see images of ice moving underfoot. You can also hear the sound of movement. Another way is companies using data analytics to guide the company's stocking and product recommendations for customers. Half of the customers who returned clothes provided feedback. Is the size accurate? How many times have clothes been worn? What occasion did you wear it on? And whether you like the dress. Was it not worn when I returned? Master the style and color that customers like and related dressing occasions. There needs to be an algorithm to recommend clothes to customers. For future lease consideration, the most interesting thing is we see people who think they want to wear something like this. But that's what they ended up saying. Some speculate that Amazon is unlikely to attract luxury brands. Part of the reason is that once you do, it is equivalent to announcing these brands have broken away from the ranks of luxury fashion. Maybe in the short term, top luxury will not appear on Amazon's page, unless it is a resale source. But exchange demand is the driving force for the coexistence of people and everything outside. Who's sure it won't be in the future? Amazon has been booked that an intrusion disaster that destroys an industry. Fashion company. Just look at publishing and media. And in a race where information is completely unequal, what can revolutionize about the unprofitable location of the brick and mortar store? Nowadays, consumers shop online. Both have been searched more directly on Amazon instead of using Google. Who can deny Google's greatest competitor in the future, not Amazon? Can luxury fashion enhance wearers' happiness? I think the answer is yes. People are different from birth. Wanting to appear different to the outside world is an inevitable need. But do you need to prove your difference? You want to prove different, or want to express different. Do you understand yourself? And I had an image. If you are from Gaza, in their lives, even for a second, has the word platinum bag ever appeared? In fact, as long as you think thoroughly enough, should agree with a point of view. Fairness is the best option for all players. But if the future is not certain to increase, not necessarily good for you in the short term, or not your preferences in the short term, it doesn't even certain to be right all the time. Would that still choice to be fair? But the other way around, even though it's hard to be fair, are you going to give up your selfishness and your best choice for yourself? So what are your options? Reading Notes channel. Accept questions from the audience or listeners. It's about books, or Chinese culture, or living in China, or anything you're curious about. Waiting for your challenge message.